Hello and welcome to the Power Up Your Databases webinar series. This final event in the series, talking about the Wepro and Nutanix factor, will be a fireside chat format where I'll be interviewing two experts on today's topic. Before we jump into today's presentation, just a few things that you should know about the event. This event is brought to you in partnership with Nutanix, so thank you to Nutanix for supporting today's event. We also want this to be an educational event, so we encourage you to use the questions box. It's there on the left-hand side of your audience console. We'll be answering questions electronically during the event, as well as live questions during our Q&A discussion. We welcome your questions, so thank you for those in advance. We also have a number of resources for download available in the Handouts tab. I encourage you to check those out. And finally, at the end of today's webinar, we'll be announcing the winner of our $300 Visa gift card. If you're watching this on demand, I'm sorry, the drawing has already occurred. My name is David Davis of Actual Tech Media, and I'm excited to be serving as your moderator for today's webinar. And with that, I'm excited to introduce you to today's expert presenters. They are Mr. Mayar Shah, General Manager and Global Head at Wepro, and Bala Kuchibohala, Vice President and General Manager for Nutanix Era and Business Critical Applications. And with that, let's kick off today's event. I'm excited to be joined by Mayur and Bala here to chat about the Wepro and Nutanix relationship. Mayur, Bala, thanks for being on.
Thank you, David. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thanks, David. Thanks for inviting.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, we polled our audience. We had questions that we solicited when folks registered for this event, and we got a ton of good questions about this topic. And so this is going to be a fireside chat. Let's just kind of go through the questions from the audience and learn about this exciting partnership between Nutanix and Wepro. So the first one I want to ask you, this is for you, Bala. The question is, what are the trends that you're seeing in the current time frame for database as a service in the market?
Great. It's a great question. Thank you, David. What I see, generally, developers, meaning application developers or such type of persona type of people, they want to flock to the cloud for one reason, convenience, right? They want to enjoy databases as a means to an end because it is coming in the middle of their business. They want to develop cool apps. Databases means to an end. They just want to see this as a utility-like service so that they can create databases, they can connect to it, they can enjoy their business app around it. The innovation becomes much faster. There's a strong secular trend that people want to go consume, rather than saying that going to the cloud, consume database as a service. However, the traditional shops that we see, most of the enterprises, they have IT ops and DB ops teams. They are chartered with enterprise governance structure, meaning they need to bring some kind of structure to how people are managing their infrastructure as well as databases. So that it could be security, it could be compliance, it could be RTO policies around it, protection of the data, a lot of stuff. So basically, though I wouldn't like to call the word control, but it's more or less towards the enterprise governance structure that is needed for giving the databases for these developers. And the decision makers are always, obviously they want the best of both, the security and the control, as well as convenience, but at the same time, they want to cut down the costs, right? As simple as that. If you can achieve this cost reduction in my database estate management, at the same time, giving the convenience, the cloud-like convenience, the experience to the developers, at the same time, bring back the enterprise governance structure and control to the whole thing, that's the nirvana for databases. Now, people do that in following ways. People just flock to the public cloud and then try to use this as managed database service. Obviously, it has a lot of convenience, but there is definitely an open concern about the governance structure, who is doing what and how they are doing it kind of stuff. At the same time, we also see that if you have a mission critical workload, just running them, lifting and shifting and try to run it, there's an impedance mismatch in both cost as well as whether you have to refactor your apps. So the trend that I see for most of these customers, they are seeing it, the goodness of the cloud. They are seeing that elasticity. They want that bite-sized consumption. They like that experience, but they're struggling to get there. They're struggling to get there, and they're looking for products and solutions, innovations around it. can we make database cloud experience at customer terms? That's the trend that I'm seeing it. And lastly, I would say where the trends are happening, there's so much goodness happens in consumer grade or consumer space. Everyone enjoys a lot of innovation around it. What people do in enterprise space, they do want to enjoy this kind of simplicity. They want to manage databases. All the mundane heavy lifting needs to be done behind the scenes. That's the trend. That's the innovation that needs to happen in databases for in the enterprise sector. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, IT professionals need easier, more efficient solutions. And I like how you describe this as kind of the nirvana for databases. So kind of follow-up question to that, how do you see this evolving in the future? What's the future of these types of solutions?
Right. So now what we see, David, is cloud is an experience. It's not a technology, or it's just not a vendor that we just go and enjoy it. The goodness of the cloud needs to be spread around all kinds of infrastructure that we have in the world today, meaning a good chunk of that is in the public cloud, a single service provider managing it, hyperscalers, but there is a ton of things that are on-prem, and you call this enterprise cloud or private cloud. The goodness of the what we call the techno cloud needs to kind of come to the enterprises too. So that's what we are seeing, that can we bring the cloud experience to the on-prem? At the same time, certain type of workloads, can they move to the public cloud, more elasticity? Can we build the hybrid cloud around it, kind of stuff? So the market is evolving to be a multi/hybrid cloud, where the cloud experience needs to be there in everything, in not just only a certain type of technology, certain type of vendor kind of stuff. It needs to be there in the on-prem too. So they are looking for solutions. They're looking for that elasticity. They're looking for the bite-sized consumption. They're looking for that utility-like experience even on-prem today. What we call this is an enterprise cloud. So that is where it is evolving. It's going to be a hybrid/multi-cloud experience, spreading from on-prem enterprise to the truly public cloud kind of stuff.
And Bala, if I can add,
Please.
onto that. So David, one more thing what we clearly see, the next generation adoption of applications as well as databases are also evolving very rapidly, which means that people are supposed to also look forward for the new generation databases, distributed databases, graph databases, log chain, and many other things which are evolving, and there it presses upon those admins and then the owners to balance between those engines, to get that handle of the existing core technologies, the databases working in the same agility, and adopt the newer ones. Now this is growing at such a faster rate. The cloud native, all those databases and database engines, they have to take care in such a quick succession. I think it's really imperative, as Bala said, the cloud experience is it's a need today, more than they want to have that experience, but the agility is need of the hour. Otherwise, they'll not be able to keep the pace what they are looking in the future, the evolving future what we are seeing now.
Very well said. Very well said, Mayur. Actually, so basically, to sum it up, the mode 2 apps or the legacy infrastructure or the legacy apps also need to leverage the cloud. That's very important. There needs to be solutions that takes care of legacy lift and shift and lift and improve type of apps, as well as there's a lot of new age technologies. We would call this more than cloud native. They're new age technologies that needs to people are adopting to build these new age apps. But the challenges are same. Any technology that needs to be managed and there is dedicated administrators to kind of manage the technology means it's just the problems will recur again. So it needs to be managed in a way that it can be enjoy the cloud experience around those technologies. So those are the two trends that are evolving. Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. Like you said, very well said. You make a great point that this isn't something that companies just want. Like, it would be nice if we had the cloud like agility. This is something they really need. This is a competitive differentiator. And if they can't roll out new applications, modern applications, cloud native applications, then they could fail really in the marketplace. And so they need these types of solutions to succeed. Next question I want to ask you, this one's for you, Mayur. Can you tell us about this new partnership between Nutanix and Wepro?
Yeah, so Nutanix and Wipro, we are very strategically aligned from the partnership perspective, not only at to organization level, but we also feel at cultural level, very aligned in terms of our directions in our way of working, and that way, our leaderships are also well connected, both organizations. There is a clear direction and uh, thrust from each one of us, from both the organization, and because of that only you can see a very strategic level of solution offering, the joint GTM which we are driving, one such as what we are talking about, the digital database services what we have rolled out along with Nutanix. We see a rock solid contribution from each one of us, and we are going together in the marketplace to sell that. Apart from that, we have also seen our other solutions which we have gone really hard in marketplace, like virtual desk, and hybrid cloud, for on the Nutanix platform. So we really see the strategic alignment working today as we speak, and our alignment from culture, as I said.
Awesome. Maybe I'll just add a small commentary to that, what Mayur just mentioned, and in particular about DDS, digital database services. So what's unique about it? Think about this way, David. When someone is trying to define the cloud experience, people try to see, especially for databases, managed database service experience, right? That's what people are trying to say. What is managed database service? Hey, you know what? You define the SLAs, and then I'm going to pay this much money to manage my database, X number of databases, X number, this kind of shapes, and this is the SLA. I pay the money. I don't worry about how you're managing, what's the infrastructure. It's like, utility. It's like electricity consumption. You pay the bill at the end of the month. So that's the beautiful experience or high bar that was set by these hyperscalers in the cloud. But we know that databases on the on-prem are not, for number of reasons, are not able to move and enjoy that kind of experience in the hyperscalers clouds. But how do you bring that experience, same cloud OpEx utility experience, to the customers at the on-prem or at their terms? That is what DDS is all about. It creates this unique differentiation and brings the parity of the cloud end-to-end managed database experience for customers, leveraging both Nutanix Era platform as well as the managed database services on top of Nutanix Era platform with Wipro's DDS. So it brings that parity cloud experience to the customers on their terms. That's what unique about DDS to me.
I like that.
Yeah.
That. So, sorry, were you going to say something, Mayur?
No, thanks, Bala. I just said that. You added a great stuff.
Okay. And then, so what really makes this partnership between Wepro and Nutanix unique? We talked about, what makes DDS unique, but what about the partnership?
So if you ask me from the offering and technology perspective, first important thing what we inherit with this partnership is the scale out, a proven platform on which we can rely our entire solution to be working on. So when we just take this as a platform, the Nutanix as a platform and Era, we clearly see, we don't have to worry about the compliance, the security requirement. All of things are given, and we can completely build upon on that as and deliver the differentiation. For instance, we can actually have eliminate all the complexity of the provisioning and other processes which we normally get into, or delivering the managed services in a truly full scale mode, full stack model. How do we really leverage this API? In our offering, we have integrated that with something called a service theater from Wipro, which is an API gateway, and Nutanix and Era exposes all the services in the API. I mean, the way we can now differentiate and release our larger services at enterprise level, the entire application, middleware, and database put together. Some of those things are really unique and differentiating when we play our offering in the marketplace. So I believe when we inherit this platform which is scale out, which takes care of the scale and performance, it takes care of compliance and security. It takes care of the simplicity and management challenges which we solve and deliver this SLAs and business level agreement kind of output for our experience. And fourth, in terms of giving those experience and agility by means of exposing those APIs and easy access to the services. So we believe that the partnership delivers this really unique both sides. Bala, if you want to add anything.
Yeah, thank you, Mayur. And maybe for this audience, this is all about databases. I'll try to kind of simplify what Mayur has put together in a maybe one or two sentences. With Wipro's DDS on top of Nutanix Era platform, here is how customers should see it. We can cut down your provisioning times of your databases, including the complex rack Oracle configurations or Postgres clusters or always unavailability clusters, from single instance to the most DR-centric solutions in a matter of minutes compared to matter of weeks. I have seen at customers, it takes like 2 to 3 weeks to provision a database. We can do it in a matter of minutes, just one, first provisioning thing. We can cut down and manage your backup in a matter of seconds. It doesn't even take like hours. I have seen the online backups of some of these traditional technologies can go into runs in hours, but with combined technologies of Nutanix Era and DDS, we can provide an application consistent backups in a matter of minutes. So that means just imagine what it means to your data protection. And we can do a seamless one-click patching. We can do one simplified monitoring end-to-end of the stack, all your availability performance metrics. So basically, and then the last thing is the copy data management. For all your databases, you probably are creating 4 or 5, 6 copies. Imagine we're talking about 40 terabyte, 50 terabyte database getting copied 5 or 6 times, spending 300 terabytes. We can do it extremely efficiently, elegantly. So basically what I'm trying to say is a combination of two great companies. One lives and breathes the cutting edge technology and then does the innovation, and someone who, as Wipro, knows the customers, gain their trust for 20, 30 years, Mayur, I do not exactly, but they are there with almost every customer, so deep entrenched, they have the trust. The combination of these two companies will bring the cloud experience. That's our differentiation. Whether it is databases, whether it's infrastructure, to me, it's all the pieces glued together. We work together. It could be virtual desktop, it could be databases, it could be general cloud, the compute, storage, virtualization kind of stuff. We're talking about, we bring the true cloud experience at customer terms. That's the true differentiation, right? Now, I might take the question for what does this partnership for Nutanix? Nutanix is obviously, I would like to see this as a Switzerland, right? Like to me, there are so many there are a number of hyperscalers. They want to have customers completely onto their land, and I would say walled garden experience. They want to provide the entire experience to the customer, but at the same time, sometimes people get locked into a particular vendor. Whereas with Nutanix, we have a dream of multi-cloud world. We have a dream of hybrid cloud world. Customers leveraging Nutanix technology can move from one cloud to other cloud seamlessly, or from on-prem to the hyperscalers. We want to be that common form factor. We want to be the Switzerland where people can come and operate together. And then make sure that we want to give that differentiation. We want to give this cost savings to the customers. At the same time, giving them very delightful cloud experience. So the best of both worlds. That's where I see. And Wipro as a partner covers a long distance to make this dream a reality, right? We are just at the end of the day, a platform, a vendor that tries to make a good amount of heavy lifting, but a lot of service layers needs to be built on, and a partner like Wipro will make a huge difference to make that dream a reality for customers. Okay.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, you alluded in there to some of the benefits for end users, you know, for database admins, tremendously far decreased rapid provisioning time, updating of the databases for maintenance, reduced downtime for updates, and then also this ability to migrate the cloud-like experience, on site. Can you kind of detail what else am I missing? What other benefits are there for end users?
Yeah. So think about this. End users in this case, we see two kinds of end users. One could be teams that are managing the cloud on behalf of the application developers in big enterprises, which is the DB ops and IT ops, which is actually creating the cloud for their internal developers or the developers itself who is trying to enjoy the cloud experience. Now let's do both sides. Like if I'm a developer, I expect to see no difference or better experience with this combination of Wipro and Nutanix compared to my public cloud. Meaning, I'm not waiting for my databases to get provisioned. I'm working on some cool project. I need databases to be provisioned. It could be Postgres, it could be Oracle or SQL. And I'm not waiting for some infra admin or DB ops admin to do it. Like the cloud, I just go click, run through my APIs, I get my database, I'm done. As long as I'm within my limits of the budget, I'm entitled to do, I will get my access to the database, accessibility, right? From reaching to that particular database. So that experience is cloud, it's sanctum sanctorum. It's the most important thing for anyone to win this game. And then comes to the DB ops team, right? So that's the end user experience, what I see application people. But the people who are trying to provide the cloud, the DB ops people, the IT ops people, they need tooling. They can't reinvent cloud-like experience. Every team, imagine just every company in the world needs to redo what AWS has done, what GCP has done, what Azure has done, what OC has done. They don't have the budget. They don't have the skill set. They need a product. They need to rely on a product like Nutanix Era with Wipro to do the heavy lifting, and they can customize it, right? All that they do is they can customize it to their needs, means their compliance, their patching standard, their backup standard. So think about this, the heavy product that comes to them, but they just customize and say that, let me create a cloud for my 2,000 developers in the company. So that is what it means to them. Now, these are the two end users, are the people type of personas who are playing with the product or who are operationalizing it. Other end users could be CIOs. For me, cloud is, they want to make sure that their cloud experience is met, and at the same time, can they see the dashboards? Can they see the consumption? Can they see the utilization? Right? In traditional environments, we have no clue about whether the database, the assets that we purchased are actually being utilized, how effectively we are using it. These are all things that decision makers at the higher level, as you move up, they really need to see, can I operate this like at the best optimal path that is true and possible? So this is what we expect our customers, all kinds of customers, end customers, to enjoy from our solution.
Excellent. Yeah. Mayur, you want to add to that? What kind of value this brings?
Yeah. So from somebody who is delivering and the services, from that angle, I would say this offering definitely, Bala covered everything. But if I have to just summarize that from provider perspective, one, for customer, it brings in the real agility and the time to market, time to value, time to transformation, very, very rapid, reduces it. Second, we can definitely maximize the uptime with this because of the complex and very, very simple data protection, whether it's backup, restore, disaster recovery, many of those things. And so hence it can give maximize the uptime as well as enhance the security. I can also see clear uptick in the operational efficiencies of our own people's productivity, and he alluded in terms of those personas. We cover both. So DB ops also we cover, as well as those specialty operations, what we cover. And both sides we can optimize and enhance our operational efficiencies, and hence reduce the cost for somebody who is consuming that. The last one, in terms of the speed at which we can now respond to with this, and the kind of empowerment to end user, the end personas, whether it's application owners or DevOps developers, everybody of them, we give them with the access of the kind of automation baked in the services, which brings those real experience, end user experience. And last, everybody would need something which is really mature and efficient. So this combination of a rugged platform which uses all native things, proven to be doing things, as he said, in seconds, of no matter what database size it is. At the same time, the maturity of experience of managing them, it's a deadly combination what we bring in together for end user, right? So
Yeah.
that's what I would say, the business
Just
benefits what it can give. Yeah.
just give one data point, David. We're talking about 150 terabyte databases getting backed up in less than a minute. Application consistent using this technology. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, it's got to make you, Mayur, especially as a professional services organization who is helping to implement this type of solution. It's got to make you feel good because it makes you look like, you know, a magician or Superman, you know, to these customers who are like, wow, I expected the provisioning time to be a week, and you guys did it in hours or a day, or you know, so
Minute.
yeah, that's
Minute.
got to be a great feeling.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Let's move on and talk about the business value that this joint relationship brings to your customers. Bala, do you want to take that?
Yeah, I'll probably flash one slide for our audience, and then we'll talk through it. If you guys okay, can I share a screen? Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, let me share this. And sorry, my messy screen is here, but I just want the audience to see this. So this is what business value proposition for customers is. Total economic impact of Nutanix era done by Forrester. A case study talking to some of our customers. We're talking about an ROI of 291%. We're talking about a payback of 6 months. So if those who are interested, I strongly encourage and to come to our site, and then this document is public so that people can enjoy it. Also, we have documents around the business value proposition and the performance. And there's a strong collateral around the oral service, DDS, that what is it, the TCO analysis the customers can enjoy. Overall, I want the audience to carry 3 things. Cloud experience at your terms, means the customer terms, at reduced cost. That's it. Cloud experience at your terms at much reduced cost than what you are incurring, either on the on-prem or in the hyperscalers. And we are very confident about it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And the summary from my side is, we can help you consolidate and rationalize your licenses in the process, because that's the key thing what we are delivering as an outcome: consolidation, and eliminating all those waste when we do that. Second, we are also giving a promise of delivering a rock solid experience even on the open source databases like MySQL and Postgres, and hence there is a promise of migrating to the open source databases you want, and same experience of Oracle. This is the second thing what we can bring in. And third, in terms of really getting you there, transformed state, we cut down the timeline with a seamless experience, what we can bring on the table. So whatever Bala said in terms of cloud experience, at their terms, and reducing. So the figures what Bala shown, very, very interesting. Just imagine on top of that, we add on the operational expenses reduction as well. I mean, that gets a phenomenal saving for somebody who is leveraging this opportunity to have this cloud experience, enhance their application rollout, release, all the numbers what they want to show as business benefits. Right?
Awesome. Thank you, Mayur. I'll just add one commentary to the consolidation point. I think it's kind of got into the cloud cost reduction, but because you're operating the cloud at your enterprise, you have the chance to consolidate, because the QA person who may not need 100% of the license all the time, maybe they're spending 30% of them. A dev person may be spending 20% using the database utilization, testing it, doesn't need a 100% dedicated license. The cloud experience, the on-demand, snap up, provisioning up in matter of minutes, provisioning down, or removing the instance, allows you to consolidate much better. That's possible with us. I kind of called it an overall cost structure of the operations and kind of stuff. That's why I said cost, control, convenience. These are the 3 dimensions that the customers can see true business value. Thank you.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, cloud-like experience on your terms and reduce costs. It seems like a no-brainer to me for any company out there who's struggling with databases, and I would be willing to bet that's most companies out there. So this sounds like a fantastic solution. If anyone out there in the audience, this is resonating with them, what do you recommend? What should they do to learn more? Bala, first to you.
Yeah. So I'll say come to Nutanix. There is a test drive. You can just see, you don't need to believe us. You can play with the product in the test drive mode and see what it means to you. You can kind of empathize then what the value prop that you can enjoy it. Then there is a solutions page with Wepro DDS. So, and if you are interested in end-to-end managed database service experience, not managing your own databases, but you want to just give that job to Wepro. Hey, manage my databases. This is my cloud budget. Can you do it? Well, more than happy to give all kinds of information to you, and then happy to participate in a POC and make it a true differentiation for you guys.
Excellent. Yeah, we'll share that information with the audience here. It sounds like a no-brainer. I mean, if I'm an IT manager or director or CIO, who wouldn't want to just hand over database management?
Try us out. Yeah.
Yeah.
You will enjoy it. I can confidently tell you. Try us out once. You will get iPhone experience for database management.
Yeah,
iPhone
absolutely.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you so much, Bala and Mayur, for your excellent presentation today. Great chatting with you.
Awesome. It's a pleasure to be here, David. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mayur.
Thank you. Thanks, Bala.